Hello, welcome back, bienvenue, and all that jazz. It's time to talk about some books. So before we jump into the September TBR, I'll briefly go a little bit into where I've been, and then I'll talk about what I'm planning to read next month. So I have just been very busy. So I defended my thesis in May and graduated with my PhD in June. And then since then, we had to move out of student housing, and then I started as a postdoc in my lab. And so there's just been a lot of work trying to finish up some experiments for papers and that kind of stuff. And so I've just been a little bit overwhelmed on that front. And so I kind of took a step back from the YouTube for a bit. But here I am, I'm ready and rearing to go. So that's kind of where I've been and what I've been up to. I've just been working and then sleeping and hanging out with the cats and Alex and playing some video games. So yeah, I mean, it hasn't been that exciting, but it has just been a little bit stressful. And so I just wanted to take a step back from YouTube for a hot minute. But with that being said, let's talk about what books do I plan to read in the month of September. And September is quite a few buddy reads. So first of all, I will be continuing along with Elle from Elliot Brooks. She is hosting a Darker Shades of Magic read-along that is then going into the Fragile Threads of Power. And so we will be reading books 2 and 3 in the month of September. So that's a Gathering of Shadows and a Conjuring of Light. I have read this entire trilogy before, but it was probably 4+ years ago at this point, and I just don't remember anything about it. I barely remember the characters or plot points or anything like that, so I'm just not ready for Fragile Threads of Power. And since Elle was hosting this and we'll be having discussion videos, and of course I'll share on the social medias whenever they are posted, but I just really wanted to participate in this because I do remember thinking the world was cool with the parallel Londons and some of the shenanigans that went on. So I'm just curious to see what I think about it now. So yeah, that's the first thing I'll be reading. And then we'll obviously also be reading the Fragile Threads of Power because it comes out in September. So we are reading the first trilogy to then carry over into the new book. I really don't know what to expect. I don't know what kind of continuation it will be. Will have the same characters? Will it be different characters? I have no idea. I haven't looked anything into it, but I'm just curious to see where the story goes but I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Like, I don't remember where it left off, so I really don't know where it's gonna go either. So we'll see. Stay tuned for that. And then the next thing I'd like to get to is I'm doing a couple different buddy reads with Chris from A Fictional Escapist this month, along with a few others. I think Esme is joining us for one of these, and I think the author Mark Timoney, author of The Blood of the Spia, is also joining us for some of this. But I think it's just me and Chris maybe for Malice by John Gwynne. This is book 1 in the Faithful and the Fallen series. I did read this like March 2022, I want to say, but I read it during, I had a red-eye flight to Philadelphia for a conference where I was presenting some of my research, and I read it. It was just like a blur. The red eye totally screwed me up. I didn't sleep the entire flight there. And then we got there and I just changed in the hotel bathroom and then went to the conference at 7 a.m. and didn't sleep for like 2 days. And that is the chunk of time in which I also chose to read Malice. So I remember something about giants. I remember, that's like it. It is like such a blur. And I know that a lot of people say that Malice is a little bit slower or a little bit tropier or a little bit more like overtly inspired by more classic fantasy tropes. But then I feel like pretty much book 2 and on, a lot of people just love this series. And so I own all 4 books. And so I just want to give it another shot. And I do love me a bunny read. So I'm hoping that in that format, it will also work better for me. And since I won't be doing any red-eye flights and reading it in like a friggin' sleepless fever dream, I'm hoping that it will work a lot better, but we shall see. Then the other buddy read with Chris, and I think this is the one where Mark and Esme are also tagging along, is we are starting the Divinity's Twilight series by Christopher Russell. This is a, I don't know, like post-apocalyptic fantasy self-indie pub series, I think. And the author was kind enough to send me copies of the first 2 books. I don't know how many books this series is supposed to end up being. We will be reading book 1 in September, and that is Rebirth. And so I don't really know anything about it. There was a cool like demon chick with wings on the cover, and that was kind of all I needed to see to kind of sell me on giving it a shot. So hopefully that works for me. I don't really usually read much in the kind of post-apocalyptic lane. I feel like I usually watch movies more so in that kind of setting. So we'll see how it works for me in book form. But here's hoping that it is just everything I want and more. And then the last planned thing before we get to the Mug of Mysteries, which I haven't touched in quite a while, I think I'm finally ready to continue my journey through the Realm of the Elderlings by Miss Robin Hobb. So I have read the Farseer trilogy and then Ship of Magic, which is book 1 in the Live Ship Traders trilogy. And so I will be continuing on with Mad Ship, which is book 2. And I think I'm coming to terms with what she does in her stories. And I'm hoping that now that there's been some time passed and I've read a considerable amount in this world, that I will stop trying to project what I wish the series was, and maybe I'll be able to just take it as what it is. I still don't know necessarily that the series will ever be for me, but I don't hate it. And I don't know, like, I like being able to have conversations and be able to, like, have read the, like, genre greats, if you will. And I feel like Miss Hobb is one of those. And so I think I'll keep going on this series regardless, but I want to at least finish the Live Ship Traders trilogy. But at that point, I'll be 6 books deep into like a 16 book series or 14 books. I don't totally remember. But, like, I'll be so far along that I'll probably push, I don't know. DNFing, who is she? I don't know her. But I'm hoping that with this, like, distance and perspective, that I can at least appreciate what it is instead of what I wish it was. And then the last thing we'll do is, I haven't pulled one of these in quite a while, so I'm super behind, but I'm only gonna do one because I'm just trying to not put a ton of pressure on myself. But we have our lovely mug of mysteries. And so at the end of last year, I went onto all the social medias and had people just recommend books for me. I put them in a big old spreadsheet, and then I let RN Jesus choose 12 of them. And I was supposed to be pulling one a month, but I haven't pulled one since May, so I missed like 3 months, but whatever, it is what it is. But let us see what is in store for us this month. And I think I've also not read like half of them, but whatever, I'm gonna try to get to them all by the end of the year. We'll see if that actually happens. But this month, oh, okay, we got The Queen of Blood by Miss Beth Durst. I've heard a lot of good things about this. I think it's called the Queens of Renthia trilogy, that the setting is this crazy, kind of creepy, cool forest. I think it's older YA, which could just be fun. It's short, so with a lot of these chonkers on this list, that'll be really lovely. But yes, so I think I can actually get to that. I don't know if I brought it with me. I still need to get around to filming the video of like showing you guys what I brought with me for our temporary living situation while I'm kind of doing this postdoc and looking for jobs. So I'll get around to that eventually, but I'm sure my library has it even if I didn't bring it with me. But those are the books that I'm hoping to get to in the month of September. Please let me know if there's any of these that you're more excited to hear me talk about, or if there's any of these that you really love, or if you want to let me know something that you're excited to read in the month of September. I would just love to chat with you. It's been a while. If you just want to leave an emoji, maybe leave a ship. Give me that good energy so I can finally continue the Live Ship Traders trilogy by Miss Hobb. But other than that, that will do it for today's video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!